If you've been looking for a way to make extra money, you've probably searched best side hustles in 2026 or watched videos with titles like Make $500 a day with no skills. And if you've tried any of them, you've probably felt frustrated, confused, or even a little ashamed. The truth is, the biggest lie about side hustles is that they're supposed to be easy, that anyone with a phone and some free time can create passive income in a weekend. But most of what we call side hustles online are just distractions. You're not building skills. You're not creating leverage. You're chasing screenshots, hoping something finally works. I've done that. I've wasted time on copy-paste methods, AI hacks, dropshipping templates, resell apps, all in the name of freedom. And for a while, I believed the lie too. In this video, I'm going to break down what that lie is really costing people, why so many beginners fall for it, and what actually works instead, even if you're starting from scratch. Because this isn't about working harder, it's about seeing clearer. And once you see the game for what it really is, everything changes. The lie. So, what's the lie? It's the idea that side hustles are supposed to be quick, easy, and passive. That you can just follow a step-by-step video, do some copy and paste, and boom, money shows up in your PayPal account. You see this everywhere. Just post this product, use this tool, sign up for this app. It's marketed as low effort, high reward. And that's the problem, because the truth is, there's no such thing as a shortcut that skips skill. What they don't tell you is that these easy side hustles are built on unstable foundations. You don't own the platform, you don't control the product, you don't understand the system. So the moment something changes, a policy update, an algorithm tweak, a new trend, your income disappears. But the lie works because it feels good. It gives you hope. It makes you believe you're just one method away from finally escaping your 9 to 5. And let's be honest, the hustle culture feeds off that hope. You get stuck in a loop. Try a new side hustle. Watch proof videos. Make no real progress. Feel like the failure is your fault. Repeat. You think, maybe I just didn't try hard enough, or maybe I need to find a better method. But you don't need a better method. You need a better model. A model based on actual skill, real strategy, and long-term thinking. Not just tactics for making a few bucks this week, but frameworks for building something sustainable. Here's the truth. If something is really that easy, it won't last. Because if everyone can do it instantly, it's already saturated. The people who succeed long-term, they're not looking for loopholes. They're building systems. They're solving problems. They're creating value. And yes, that takes time. That takes attention. That takes saying no to dozens of shiny distractions. But that's also why it works. The biggest lie about side hustles is not that you can't make money. It's that you don't have to change who you are to do it. You do. Because success isn't about luck or timing. It's about transformation, internal and external. Why it feels real. The reason the lie about side hustles works so well, it's because it feels true, especially when you're just starting out. Everywhere you look, people are winning. Screenshots of $10,000 months. Thumbnails that say, "Twats on $200 in one day using AI." People quitting their jobs, traveling the world, working from a beach with a laptop and a smoothie. And sure, some of it is legit. But what you're seeing is the final chapter. Not the first one. Not the messy middle. Not the part where they were broke, unsure, and trying to figure it out like you. You're seeing the result after years of work, risk, skill, and failure. But it's edited to look like it happened in 30 days. That's the social media illusion. Success gets compressed. The timeline gets deleted. And the grind? That never makes it to the highlight reel. And if you're not careful, you start to believe the wrong thing, that everyone else is succeeding quickly, and you're just the one person who's doing it wrong. But that's not the truth. That's marketing. A lot of creators aren't just showing you what's possible. They're selling you the dream because it's profitable. They'll say, this method is beginner-friendly, but forget to mention their audience of 100,000 followers. They'll say, I made $2,000 in my first week, but leave out the $1,500 they spent on ads. They'll show the upside and leave out the risk. They'll sell you the sizzle, but never the struggle. And as a beginner, that's dangerous. Because you start to think if it's not fast, it's not working. If it's not passive, it's not worth it. And if you're not making money yet, it must be your fault. But the truth is, if it's real, it's going to take time. There's no shame in starting slow. There's no failure in learning the hard way. That's the foundation. And ironically, the people who are truly succeeding, they're not selling you anything. They're too busy building. If it feels like everyone else is winning but you, take a breath. Zoom out. You're not behind. You're just seeing a highlight reel. And the real stuff? It never fits in a thumbnail. The real cost of believing the lie. Believing the lie doesn't just waste your time. It costs you momentum. It burns your focus. And over time, it erodes your confidence until you start to question whether you're even cut out for this. Because here's what happens. You start with energy. You're motivated. You believe this new side hustle might finally be the one. So, you give it a shot. You set up the account. You buy the domain. You follow the tutorials. But nothing clicks. A few weeks in, you haven't made any money. Or maybe you made a little, but it's not sustainable. And the worst part? You don't know why it's not working. So, you blame yourself. You think, I must be doing something wrong. And instead of fixing the foundation, you jump ship. You look for the next thing. You go back to YouTube, back to TikTok, back to Google. You find a better method, and the cycle repeats. Each time you start over, each time you lose a little more faith, not just in the method, but in yourself. And that's the cost nobody talks about. It's not just about lost hours or failed attempts. It's about the emotional exhaustion of constantly starting over, the mental clutter of 10 half-finished projects, the doubt that creeps in when everything looks easy for others and hard for you. Over time, you become skeptical. You stop trusting opportunities. You stop trusting people who teach. You even stop trusting your own instincts. That's how people get stuck. Not because they're lazy, but because they're tired. They've been chasing fake wins for so long they can't even see the real path anymore. And it gets worse. Some people don't just lose time, they lose money. They buy into overpriced programs. They invest in tools they never learn to use. They pour money into ad platforms with no strategy. And now they're not just confused, they're broke and bitter. And once that bitterness sets in, it's hard to shake. You start to believe that making money online just isn't possible. Or worse, that it's only possible for people with an audience, a tech background, or some secret advantage you'll never have. The lie is expensive because it promises ease and delivers chaos. But worst of all, it trains you to think in terms of speed. How fast can I make this work? How quickly can I quit my job? How soon can I automate everything? And when speed becomes your focus, you stop seeing the long game. You skip the learning stage. You ignore the boring fundamentals. You underestimate how much mastery actually matters. And slowly, without realizing it, you trade clarity for urgency. You stop asking, what's the right thing to build? And you start asking, what's the fastest way to make money? That shift feels harmless, but it kills your growth. Because speed without direction is just noise. And if you keep chasing speed, you'll keep restarting. So what's the real cost of believing the lie? Not just wasted time, not just lost money, but missed momentum, missed mastery, and missed opportunities to build something real. If you've felt stuck, burned out, or lost in the noise, it's not your fault. You were sold a dream that was never designed to last. But now that you see it clearly, you can stop playing someone else's game and start building your own. What actually works? So if the lie doesn't work, what actually does? It's not a secret, it's not a hack, and it's definitely not a copy-paste method. It's this. Real side hustles work when you build them on top of skill, consistency, and systems. That's it. Not hype, not viral trends, not chasing the newest tool. Just practical steps repeated over time, focused on creating real value. Let's break it down. Step 1, build a skill. This is non-negotiable. Every sustainable side hustle is built on a skill. Writing, editing, marketing, research, web design, automation, sales, teaching, coding, content creation. These are the engines that drive the internet. Behind every successful business or creator, you'll find one or more of these skills, practiced and refined over time. And here's the good news: you don't need to be world class. You don't need a degree. You just need to be good enough to help someone. That's where the leverage begins. But here's the part most people skip. Skill takes time. And during that time, it might feel like nothing is happening. But every hour you invest is compounding. So instead of jumping from trend to trend, pick one skill and give yourself 6 to 12 months to get good at it. That's your foundation. That's your leverage. Step 2, choose a problem to solve. Money doesn't come from content. Money comes from solving problems. Ask yourself, who do I want to help? What do they need? How does my skill solve a real pain point for them? That's where your income comes from. Not from virality, but from clarity. You could write for busy business owners. You could edit videos for YouTubers. You could automate workflows for creators. You could teach something you know to people just a few steps behind you. If you focus on solving real problems, people will gladly pay you. Because you're not asking for money, you're trading value. Step 3, build a system. This is where everything starts to click. A system isn't some fancy tech stack. It's a repeatable process that keeps working even when your motivation dips. Think of it like this: a system is what turns your skill into income consistently. Examples of simple systems: a content calendar that removes decision fatigue, a weekly writing or publishing habit, a one-page site that turns traffic into leads, a weekly outreach script you send to potential clients. The more friction you remove, the easier it is to keep going. That's what makes a hustle sustainable. Not how exciting it is, but how repeatable it is. Step 4, commit to one path. This is where most people fail. The moment you choose one thing, everything else starts looking shinier. YouTube recommends a new method. Someone else says they made 10K doing something totally different. Ignore it. The fastest way to grow is to stop starting over. Pick a direction. Stick with it. Adjust only when you've given it real time. You don't need 10 hustles. You need one that you're willing to master. So what actually works? Skills over shortcuts, value over vanity systems over chaos, focus over FOMO. This isn't sexy. It's not viral. But it works. And once you commit to building this way, with skill, clarity, and patience, the results stop being random. You stop guessing. You start growing. And best of all, you start believing again. The mindset shift. If there's one thing that changes everything, it's mindset. Because once you understand the lie and finally see what actually works, you're left with a choice: keep chasing speed or commit to building something real. And that choice starts with a mental shift. A shift from how fast can I win to how long can I last? Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they don't stay in the game long enough to learn how to win it. They quit right before things click, right before their skills catch up, right before they get seen by the right person or attract the right opportunity. So, here's the real mindset shift. Stop treating your side hustle like a lottery ticket and start treating it like a craft. Crafts take time. Crafts require reps. Crafts reward people who care enough to keep going when it's not fun anymore. You've got to stop optimizing for excitement and start optimizing for consistency. Pick one thing and give it your full attention for the next 6 months. Not 6 hours, not 6 days, not until you get bored. 6 months of actual focus will outperform 3 years of distracted dabbling. And here's the key: track your reps, not just your results. When you measure how many times you show up, how many pieces of content you post, how often you reach out or improve your skill, that's where growth becomes visible. That's when things start to compound. You don't need viral growth. You need reliable growth. You need a repeatable pace that you can maintain, even when life gets busy or motivation dips. And no one talks about this enough. The boring work is the stuff that builds freedom. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But it works. Because momentum is built in silence. When no one's clapping. when the numbers aren't moving, when it feels like nothing is happening, and you keep going anyway. That's the mindset. That's the advantage. Because in a world obsessed with going fast, patience is your unfair edge. Next step. So, if you've made it this far, here's the truth. The biggest lie about side hustles isn't that they exist, it's how they're sold. They're sold as easy, fast, and passive. But in reality, the ones that work are slow, focused, and skill-based. It's not about how many things you try, it's about how long you're willing to go deep on one thing that matters. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or behind, you're not broken. You've just been chasing a version of success that wasn't built for the long term. Now you know better. Forget the shortcuts, forget the screenshots, forget the noise. Instead, build skill, solve real problems, create repeatable systems, and stay in your lane long enough to see results. Because when you do that, making money online stops being a mystery. It starts making sense. If this video helped you see things clearer, subscribe. Not because I have all the answers, but because I'll keep asking the right questions. Questions that lead to progress. This isn't about overnight wins. It's about building something real. And if that's what you're here for, you're in the right place.